There we go.
Are you there?
Yes,
Hey! I don't know what it did.
that's how that works. I think it's like a little chat room. Works
Yeah.
like Discord. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we just got to wait for Dan. He says he's going to be online 1:30,
Okay.
so we can tread water till then. I'm sure we can
Shoot the
entertain that.
breeze. Yeah, just as a heads up, I think my gameplay is going to be a little more shoddy than usual because I've burnt my thumb.
Ah,
It's currently wrapped up in cling film.
seeming we won't notice. I'm just saying now I'm going to suck because of this. You're like, yeah, sure.
I
What's the reason the rest of the time?
But the rest of the hand.
I burned the entire head except the thumb.
I was making my really tasty tacos, and I was shifting the iron skillet out the way, and the heat just went straight through the fucking glove that I was using, and fucking ow. So I think I need to replace my flamingo fucking gloves.
Ow! God damn it!
No, I like them.
I find that TK Maxx do Snoopy themed ones.
Snoopy
I
thing.
now have two sets now because they had like an autumn set and then they had a Christmas set, and I have both now because like fucking awesome. They're like proper little mittens. I think they're designed for kids, but they're way better than the normal one. Because I always find like oven gloves are really like cumbersome and shit and useless, whereas like these are like proper little. They're like little mittens with like insulated rubber on the insides.
Yeah, I gotta
So
get
like
something
really
like
good
that,
for
man.
picking shit up. That's hot. Yeah, really really cool.
It
But
would happen
also-
to my fucking drawing hand as well. Just before I picked
Not
the
my wanking hand.
I know, my very important hand that I do all my favourite things with.
It does all the best things. I call the left hand the stranger.
Well, it's just before I picked the damn thing up, I was thinking, this is hot. I should really be doing dangerous shit like this with my left hand.
I know, I often think that.
Did I fucking
No, no,
listen to the voice? No.
I have a habit of like opening the doors on the stove by just pulling the sleeve over my hand, which I know I shouldn't do.
Yeah, that's.
But like the other
dangerous.
day, the other day I did it, and I had like a wool jumper on, so there was enough of a gap between
Ooh.
like the wool opened up. I now have like a nice little circular scar on the end of my thumb because it just like
fuck's
insta
sake.
burned the end of
Yeah.
my thumb into a perfect little disc. I was like, fucking son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Wow, our pain response is so slow. It's like you realize, yeah, it's already dead by the time it's told you. You're like, that's no use to anyone, is it? It's like,
Well, I mean-
yeah, the damage is done at that point. You're like, well, thanks for telling me. Yeah.
If it hurts, that's actually good because it means you haven't killed it.
Well, it hurt the time. The actual is not, doesn't it? Now, the actual little bit is just dead.
I mean,
Yeah,
my
like
my
work
thumb's
out.
been sort of stinging for the last hour and a bit, but I had it submerged in water for like 45 minutes. So.
Is that thing we just going?
Yeah. If I could just leave it, if I could leave it dipped in a cup of cold water for the rest of the evening, I'd be very happy. But like I say, the cling film will have to do.
Yeah, playing the game one-handed might be a little bit taxing.
Yeah, it's hard enough with two.
I'm so happy with my little keyboard, man.
I love that keyboard, dude.
So cool.
I've been eyeing up those kind of things for fucking years now, but
I know, and I had the chance to get one. I was like, yes, I am getting one of those. Dude, they are so nice to type on.
I know,
It's like
clicky clacky,
proper old-fashioned
tactile.
like Commodore 64 type thing. It's like clunk, 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 clunk. It's gorgeous.
It's what I want. I mean, the reason I stick with the
Have a
box.
look in Curry's, man, because it wasn't expensive.
I looked on
It
their
was not
website; they
expensive.
didn't have anything, and I don't have a Curry's nearby, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, but I
And
mean,
if I'd known, I'd have got you one. They're really good.
well, the thing is, I've got no real need for one. The Dell keyboard that I've got.
Cares about need, man.
Yeah, well, I think I've got like zillions of keyboards, but the one that I've got in front.
but like you know.
The one that I've got in front of me is the classic Dell keyboard, and it's got
that's the one I got.
yeah, it's just brilliant. It's got like in terms of utility, it's brilliant. It's got your volume control, it's got all that kind of shit on it. It's great.
Oh right, mine doesn't have any of that. It's just really bog standard, but it does everything I need. Like this is for my sort of standalone rig, and I was like, well, I don't need a numpad and all that jazz.
Hmm.
and I
Yeah,
could
I
do a
never used the number
maximum room for like the massive Wacom that I've got. So I was like, oh, I'll just have the little one. It's cheaper as well.
I didn't know you used a Wacom. Do you have like a pen display?
Huh?
Do you have a Wacom pen display?
You mean like a Cintiq?
Yeah.
No,
Oh
fuck
right.
no.
I was thinking.
Jesus
I
Christ,
was
man.
thinking
Well,
you
I'm
don't
not
have one
made
of
of money.
those.
They're like £2,000.
No,
Like,
dude, look at price up the Cintiq 16. It's the one that I've been using for fucking years. It's pricey. It's still pricey. Granted, yeah, sure, but you're not paying through the nose for like one of the Cintiq 22 things.
Oh, I like my I do actually like my it's an Intuos 2. They're really, really old, but they're hands down probably the best they ever did. They're really fucking nice.
Yeah, if I had a choice, I'd
I
still
got
be.
it for free.
If I had a choice, I'd still be using my old Cintiq 12WS,
Yeah.
12WX. I had no choice but to change that because the drives just didn't work with the Windows 10. Yay.
Yeah, I had to do some jiggery pokery to get it to work on the Windows 11, like, but it works on that on Windows 10, bizarrely enough, even though it's probably older than I am.
If it works, it works. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. So I don't like.
Plus,
I don't
if
want
it's
to
a
get
tool
rid
you're
of it.
familiar with, yeah, sure, don't change it.
I had one when I worked at Wales Interactive. It was like the only one that they had, like, and it was ancient. But when I used it, I was like, "Fuck me, this is good." Like, it's really good. The one that I've got on my work PC now is like I think it's an Intuos 5, so it's way more advanced. But I'm using it and going, the pressure sensitivity and stuff's nowhere near as good.
And
Like
that's
the
more.
one on Intuos 2 is so much nicer, and they're way more robust.
Mm.
It's like that, World War II tech, where it's just like this gigantic brick of a thing.
Yeah, well, this is my main gripe about the 12WX compared to the Cintiq 16, which I use now. The 12WX, I only needed to change the nib on the stylus once across its life, and I'd used it for about 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was no marks on its surface at all, not a single scratch, and that's from over a decade's worth of use. Cintiq 16, I have had for way less time than that. The screen is scratched to hell, and I've gone through a zillion nibs on the fucking thing.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Cintiq 16. If you're going to go for it, go for one of those. Don't be tempted by one of the cheaper options because I got one of them.
Oh God, no! I'd never do that.
Well, yeah, I got a Wacom 1 to tote up and down the country with me when I pop up to my mum's place.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably bitched about it before. It's just like, if you use the pressure sensitivity and stuff like that, it doesn't have any of those bells and whistles.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So it's just your Billy Basic entry level drawing on a screen thing, which is fine for sketches and stuff that you're going to build upon later. But yeah, it's not really great for much else.
I was really lucky at Cloth Cat because we had the full big A3 Cintiqs to do all our stuff on.
Holy shit!
Amazing.
That's like a desk.
Yeah, basically. That was you basically had two monitors. You had one of those, which was your main monitor, and then we had a sort of normal monitor but flipped on its side, which was really good for having all your message stuff on because all the messenger things tend to be vertical. So you just have all your office bullshit on the one screen, and then you just work on this fucking gigantic, basically like a light box, which was awesome because they're mad money.
Yeah, God, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you look at look at the price of your Cintiq 22s, and then just go up from there.
But even then, even using that, it's they were amazing for doing certain things. But there is stuff where you notice that there is a mismatch even in that. You're I'm drawing straight on the screen, which is great, but there are certain things where it's not quite as good.
Oh yeah, it's got to be calibrated to the user. Is the thing. So if
I
you
still prefer my Intuos 2. That thing's just amazing. Yeah, and while I was working there at Cloth Cat, someone was just giving one away.
Yoink.
I really missed it. I really missed it from Wales Interactive because it was there. It was obviously belonged to the company, so I didn't keep it. And then I went into the office one day, and there was just one on the kitchen table with a note on it saying "free to a good home." And no motherfucker wanted it because it was old. And I was like, "This fucking thing's amazing." I was like, "These things are incredible," and I was like, "I'm fucking having that."
Yeah, people that give away.
I was like, I've always wanted one of these because it was the nicest thing I've ever drawn on. They are awesome.
People that give away old tech, I'm sure they go on to regret it later. It's just like, no, you gave that away, you fucking moron. Just
Yeah,
you
like
hold
no
on to
doubt.
it. You
Like
hold
no
on to
doubt.
it until it's properly obsolete.
I've still got all of mine. I've still got the first one I ever had, which was like a little A5
Oh yeah, I've got
thing.
one of them
And
kicking around.
it was that was really good, for
Well,
what it was. It
you
was
can probably still
great.
plug that in; it'll do its
Oh, it'd
job.
probably work. Yeah, I should think it work.
I always found they were best for your color work and stuff. I could never draw properly using those. I could never coordinate my hand and eye and shit to draw on the
Oh,
screen.
really?
No, I've never.
Yeah, I do all my
I
painting
was.
on them.
I
I'm
mean,
used to
I
that
think I
now.
did a bunch of the early sequential art stuff doing that, but it was all the preliminary sketches were done by hand,
Yeah.
and they were probably inked on the computer. And it really shows because
Interesting.
my digital inking was shoddy because it wasn't until
Oh, it's a whole skill all on its own. That is like there's inking and then there's digital inking and there's like a whole being good at that is
but
something else.
I mean I can do it now because I got the Cintiq and it is very much like inking on a piece of paper.
Yeah, so I mean
Um,
that's how Todd does it, doesn't he? Because I mean he does all his drawing videos and you see him actually he uses one of those,
well, when I first
one of the big ones like. But yeah,
I
I
thought
love his digital inking's gorgeous. Fair play, man.
I thought it was going to be like I thought I was going to lose my normal drawing skill by drawing on a Cintiq when I first started using them. Like,
No, I find it weirdly helps you. I
yeah,
find that
it's
like
the discipline's the
it's
same.
sort of like a feedback loop where you get because you're not stuck with the making physical errors
Yeah,
stuff. So I think you learn faster because you can just rub out the ink, you can just erase it and do it again. Whereas you can't. You've always got that problem. Like even now, like where I still do all my physical inking, on paper and stuff. But I still find that like I'll try out theories and techniques digitally and then reverse engineer that into like the hand inking. I find that like I learn a lot better that way.
cool.
But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
I mean, I've never tried out any new physical stuff for any new physical mediums for ages. Like, well, God, it must be since 2007. Since I started doing digital stuff, I've never tried any new physical, like trying out new pens and things. Whereas before that, I was always trying out new pens and shit
Do you
because I wanted to learn how to get
do
the
you,
line work right. Basically,
do you follow Clara Meath on Instagram?
no,
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
should check her stuff out. She's fucking amazing. She's like a indie comic artist. Her stuff's incredible.
Uh,
But she's like proper does everything by hand. Like, and it's nuts watching her do stuff. She's all like the like was it the gel masking stuff
oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
and flicking stuff. I like flicking things with brushes and doing all doing all this texture work with sponges and all this stuff. And it's like I'd love to, yeah. The stuff is so pretty, dude, but it's just so intense. Like you watching her work, you're like, that's nuts. I thought I was intense, still doing stuff with like 10 marker pens and shit, but I'm nothing on her. Like the level of shit, like the amount of work she does to get a single panel, you're like, play is worth it. It's
Oh yeah,
beautiful,
the end result, will
beautiful.
but it's
You should check it out if you get a chance to, man. I'll point you towards it.
there's an Italian comic book artist. What's her name? Mirka Alfonso or something like that. I can't quite remember the name, but I mean her hand drawn stuff is as good as her digital stuff, and it's just
Yeah.
crazy. You sort of look at it and you think, did you do that on the computer? No, she did it by hand on a piece of paper. It's just like, Jesus Christ, you're really fucking good at this.
Yeah.
That's like
Disgusting,
it's like
man.
top skill. Oh well, she's getting the recognition she deserves. So-
Yeah, but there's a guy, I can't remember his name now, but there's a guy that I follow who does like but he does all the color work by hand and it literally looks like a digital painting. He does it all with markers and you're like, fuck off. How is that just marker pens?
Well, I mean, it's
It
got to be
looks like digital. It's bonkers.
yeah, it's when they manage to get like the glow effects that we need
Yeah.
the actual filters for.
Yeah, he does all
but
that.
it's
and
done
you're like,
physically,
what the
and it's like,
fuck? Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be doable.
I
Yeah,
struggle
sure.
to get that shit looking that good with a computer.
On a computer. I know what you mean.
And I'm like, how the fuck have you done that with like a pen?
It's
That's
just mastery
gone.
of color theory and the tools that you're using. And it's like,
It's called being god tier. That's what it is.
well, I mean,
You
do something
motherfuckers.
do something 1,000 times, you get good at it. But I mean, that's the
I
thing.
ain't got the patience. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, I'm
I've
thinking
honed the
that.
things I need to hone. That's it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't need to do that. As much as I'd love to, it's like, it's the same as the Clara Meath stuff. It's like I could, but I don't have to.
Well,
I'm happy with my process. Like, you
yeah,
know what I
I've
mean?
realised that
So I can respect it. Is the thing.
it's a discipline, it's a trade, it's a skill that you need to work at.
I don't know about you, but I think that is a process you go through as you get like older in art.
What,
It's
you
like
realise your
years ago.
limitations?
Yeah, well, just being okay with what you do.
Yeah,
'Cause
being
I think
comfortable
years
and
ago,
confident doing it.
you kind of look at other people's stuff and you go, oh, "Shit, man, I need to do that. I need to like because you like it, so you think you need to do it."
Well,
And
you want to
because
draw
there's that.
exactly like the people that you admire when you're a
Yeah,
kid.
there's like you can't separate those things when you're a younger artist. I don't think the difference between just really liking something and it not being what you do.
Yeah,
It's like, oh god, I know I like it, so I have to be able to draw like that. And I think that takes a lot of like it's a
maturity.
long time to get out of. Yeah, it's like I'm happy with the stuff I do now, even though I do look at other people. So you still look at other people's stuff and go, "Fuck, I
Well,
can't
yeah,
do
we were
that."
just
That's
talking about
amazing.
two artists there whose work
Yeah,
we sort of look at.
you're just like,
Yeah,
wow.
but like
So,
when I was a teenager in college, it was like looking at Joe Madureira's stuff. I
oh,
just
he's
think,
mental. I remember like that fucking X-Men collection that came out, and I was like, I got hold of it when I was like in uni. And everybody was like, he did this when he was 18, and you're like, oh, go fuck
son of a
yourself.
bitch. Yeah,
I know. It's
but
like you're like
it's
drawing some of the best X-Men shit ever, and the guy's still in high school. You're like,
But it was when I was a teenager and I looked. It was when I was a teenager and I looked at that stuff and all the image stuff at the time. You had him, you had J. Scott Campbell, you had the guy that drew Fathom, Mike Turner,
yeah,
with Witchblade and all that kind of stuff. You just
yeah,
think, oh my god, this is just I want to draw like this, and you try to draw like them and you can't. But
nah.
when you're older, you realize no, you were never going to be able to because you're not them.
Yeah,
It's
like
just-
Ramos was my thing for a long time. I
oh yeah,
really wanted
Ramos
to
with Crimson and all that. God,
Yeah,
yeah.
God, I loved his stuff. Absolutely, and all his work on Spider-Man and everything. Oh God, just absolutely amazing.
I've really got to go back and reread Crimson because it's like an evolution of his art style. If you like start from the beginning of Crimson, it's like early
I have
Ramos.
Crimson, but I think it's in German or something.
Oh shit!
Which was really annoying because like it was part of that early days of Amazon when it was like shit. I can actually get hold of stuff. You know, you can actually get hold of things. I have so many comics that I bought, like when Amazon came along and we had like our accounts in work, and I would just buy so much shit. Like I have so many, and like that copy, I think it was like because it was really hard to get hold of, like the graph of Crimson. 'Cause I was just obsessed with tracking down like everything he'd done because his stuff was just fucking amazing, and it was the only copy I could get, and it was in German, so I've no idea, but it's very pretty.
I was going to say you're not really buying it for the
Like
artwork.
fucking vampires. Yeah, I didn't really care because it was like I just want the art.
It's like
You
saying,
get the idea vaguely from the
it's like saying you're buying
visual
Playboy
medium.
for the articles. You're not really there for the text.
No, not as an artist. You don't. I don't understand like people who just read comics. Some people just like flip through it and they're like, "Cool, I've read it." I'm like, "Fuck off!" I spend an hour looking at a panel.
Poring over it, yeah.
Yeah, just staring at a panel, just going, how have you done that? It's fucking amazing." I was in the shop today, and it's annoying because it's wrapped in plastic, aren't they? They're in a little sleeve.
Oh, you go to a comic shop
And
that does that?
yeah,
Oh, is that like a traveling man one or?
no. I mean, it's all mixed. So there are proper books and stuff that you can leaf through, but also like single issues tend to be in a sleeve, don't they? So I'm
No,
like,
not where I am. Is it a Forbidden Planet at yours?
no, it's not Forbidden Planet. It's a Joe Blogs
Yeah,
standalone little thing.
the
When
boutique
you
one.
come up, we'll do a little tour of them, and you can see because they're all proper old fashioned.
Yeah, sure, dude, I'd love to.
Where you've just got like a cardboard carton, and it just says like DC.
Yeah, I
and
miss
you've got to leaf
those.
through them, like,
There was one of
it's
those
like
in
that.
Birmingham,
But
but I think it's changed.
but he had a barbed wire.
Oh
But
shit! Like,
but the cover was Adam Warren. And I
yeah,
was like, is the whole thing Adam Warren?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I didn't know either. I was like, it was like £8, and if the whole thing had been like Adam Warren, I'd have fucking bought it in a
I
heartbeat.
know that he did a
But I was
cover.
like,
I don't think he did the interior stuff.
yeah, I just wondered about it. I didn't
I
because of
think that.
that.
I
But I was
think.
like,
Well, I mean,
fuck me, it was an awesome cover. It was like her on a motorbike in these sort of like pink leather chaps with like all like little belts and everything. It was so cool.
I can't
I
remember if
love,
Barbed Wire was
fucking, I
actually already a
love
comic book.
Adam Warren's shit, man. I keep forgetting about him, and then every now and then I'll stumble across it and go, God damn it, it's cool.
Yeah, I
That
just.
thing you did the other day just absolutely just stank of him in the right way.
Which
That
one was
girl
that?
on the lamp on the
Oh, the
telegraph
spinneret
pole
thing.
with
Yeah,
the multiple arms.
yeah.
Like it was just her face and her. It was just like fucking Adam Warren.
Adam
shit.
Warren there. Well, that's no surprise.
I know it's like one of
like
your big influences when you were a kid, but it's
he
like
wasn't.
you
He
can't
wasn't.
always sort of see it, but it was there in that. I was like, yeah.
When I first encountered Adam Warren's work, like
didn't like it,
late
did you?
90s, earlier, I didn't like it.
No,
I
no,
hated it.
no.
I just thought, oh, that's kind of shitty. Oh, I think it was. When they did like manga adaptations of Star Wars when the prequels
Yes,
were
I
coming
have
out.
those. I have those. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Adam Warren.
I think
stuff
it was
are
the Adam
actually
Warren ones that I saw. I just
cool.
thought, this is
It's
ugly
so
as
good.
fucking sin. I don't like this. And then years.
Do you want to know something on a similar line?
What?
You'll love this. You absolutely will love this. When I was a kid in the 90s, I didn't like Todd McFarlane's stuff.
And now he's like your god. You
Now
pray
he's
to
like
him
my
every
God.
every
Yeah.
day.
I'm just like,
Every day.
yeah,
praise to
like,
Todd.
pray to Todd.
Praise
man.
Todd.
Guidance, you know. But like, yeah, I've literally got prints of his shit all over the walls. Like, I'm sat here surrounded by at least like three Spider-Man pages.
May Todd gaze upon you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird, isn't it? It is weird though. It's like saying about Ramiro. Ramos. You know, going back, I've looked through some of his stuff recently and gone, I don't know if I like it much anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
it's taste.
I think it's a bit ugly in places.
It's a combination
you know,
of taste
fascinating.
and it's a combination of taste and the way you go about assessing artwork. Because I look at images in a completely different way to the way I looked at it when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, it was a case of, oh, that's really
How big are
pretty.
the tits?
Well, it was that, but it was also in general, it was this is a really pretty image. These days,
Yeah.
I look at a picture in a much more analytical way. I'm sort of breaking it down in my head, sort of trying to reverse engineer in my brain how they went about doing things. So it's really very much an assessment of the technical skill required to do it, which is probably why I appreciate Adam Warren now more than I did then, because it's deceptively simple. His style.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot on below the surface. There's a lot going on in terms of construction and composition and all that. But because it's like manga, it's really quite simplified.
Yeah.
So the detail.
Yeah, I mean that's that thing. I always find that interesting. You come across it a lot where how to say it in a non-offensive kind of way. I suppose inexperienced artists, especially in like in the indie scene and everything, all start out with drawing manga, and there's tons of like just chonky manga out there because they're lured in by that simplicity.
Yeah, that's me. Look at my early shit. It's just that.
Yeah, but you're fucking good. That's
yeah, but I got good. If I look back,
loads of people are just just drawing this like terrible shit because they think because it's simple, it's easy, and it's the complete fucking opposite. It's like Bruce Timm's Batman shit. It's like you can't fucking do that.
You've
because
got to learn anatomy first.
There's reasons that my art is like that 90s McFarlane-esque kind of shit, because like I can do 300 lines and hide the crap line work.
Yeah.
I can hide it all with shading and texture and scruff, and it helps make it look better. If I was just my old stuff, I used to try and do that clean single line start. It's fucking just dreadful. I've actually gone back to how I used to draw when I was a teenager, and it's way better. Because I'm drawing the way I'm supposed to, I suppose. I'm not trying to do anything, but like, yeah, there's that deceptive aspect. There's that allure to it being simple that pulls people in, and it's like, yeah, but there's nowhere to hide. Like, you put that line fractionally out,
It's just
and it just
fucked.
blows the
Yeah.
whole image out. You know, it's like, oh, that face looks a bit off because that line is literally like a pixel slightly to the right, and it just warps the whole face, or some shit like that. You know, and it's like you can't get away with it. You
Well,
know,
I've
people who can do stuff like that, like Bruce Timm, fucking godlike. It's ridiculous.
I've started doing something which I should have been doing years ago, and that is flipping the
Wearing oven
sketch.
glove.
But flipping the sketch.
Oh yeah,
I should have
can't
been.
do that on paper.
There's other. I think it was actually. It might have actually been a guy talking about Todd McFarlane. Actually, he does this thing. If it was him that I'm thinking of, who anyway, regardless, what he does, he's sketching and then he holds the image up to the light and looks at it through the page because he's doing it hard copy.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously easier if you do it on a computer. And I just thought I'm going to try this out. Because it's just a click of a button.
Yeah, I've done it. I do it when I'm digitally painting.
And
I do it.
Dear God, does it make a difference?
Yeah, fuck me, does it work? Yeah,
holy
it's mad,
shit!
isn't it?
I should have been doing this like
yeah.
decade
You flip
ago.
it over and you go, "Wow, what is going on with that face?"
Yeah, you basically
you know, like, "Whoa, shit! Those eyes, they're all on different levels."
Yeah,
what's going on?
but then it's just a case of skewing and distorting the image slightly so it looks better, and then you redraw it slightly,
and then you
flip it back
and stuff. Yeah,
and god damn, does it work?
On that note, I have found a thing that I've discovered that is quite good. It's like when I'm inking, sometimes if I flip the page upside down, that actually helps.
Yeah, same principle.
Because you stop looking at what you think the image is, and you're just looking at lighting, and you're looking at where shadows and stuff fall instead of trying to draw. You're kind of there, just sort of, putting these things into place.
For the same reason that people say, well, good artists say you should start your colour work with your shading only. Just do it in complete grayscale and don't add colour until after that stage, just so you're thinking about the lighting first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you're digital painting, that's what I do. We always work black and white.
I've tried that. It doesn't seem to make any difference to me.
You can't do digital painting, which is fine.
I've started to get there. I've started to get there. I'm working on it. It's one of those skills you got to develop. I recognize that's my weak point. I mean, it's something I'm doing just for me, really, because I'm quite happy just doing black and white grayscale. Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm just letting you talk, man, for 5 seconds, as opposed to doing what I always do, where I'm like, ooh, the thought has entered my brain.
I know. I got nervous.
I should just say what
I was thinking something's amiss.
Because I'm not interrupting you. Fuck you. No, he's dreadful though. I always it's like those things. Like, he used to listen back to our stuff, and I thought, Christ, let him get a fucking word in. Oh, because I listen back to our stuff and I think, yeah, Phil was going to say something really interesting there, and I never got to hear it.
Now you'll never know.
Yeah, now I'll never know.